there was this one guy in my school who would always say, I'm going to fail this exam. And then they end up getting an A+. And they said that so frequently that it became a meme at our school. We would just know him as the guy that would always say, I'm going to fail. And then they end up acing it. They'll end up doing fine. And this used to be me, which was why this entire situation was so interesting. Because I used to have that thought, and I used to just say that out loud. I would literally say, even though I tried very hard, I probably will still fail. And then I'll end up doing better than I expected. And when I was thinking back about why I was doing this, why my classmate was, saying things like this, it made me realize that this was almost like a way to protect yourself from potential failure. Because if I say something like, oh, I'm going to fail this exam anyways, that means I've already mentally prepared for the painful failure that may happen. And if I don't fail and I end up doing quite well, that's a pleasant surprise. And so it's almost like providing myself with this backup route in case I fail. And initially when I thought about this, I was like, yeah, what's wrong with that? Great. I give myself a backup route. I won't end up disappointed. I'll stay happy regardless of what. Cool, that's it. But as I was thinking about this deeper, I realized that this is probably one of the quickest ways for your brain to hate yourself, for you to hate yourself. Because essentially what you're saying is, hey, I'm not good enough. I don't know if I'm good enough, and that's why I have all these doubts in my head. Regardless of how much effort I put in, I'll still have doubts about my abilities. Because that's essentially what you're saying. Even if I tried very hard, and I know my friend who was saying, these phrases, he tried very hard as well. We both worked our asses off. And even then, we still said, I'm going to fail. That's essentially you negating all the hard work that you've done and saying, cool, I'm still incapable despite all the hard work that I've put in. And even if you get good results in the end, the mindset that this creates is overwhelmingly negative. It limits self-confidence, it promotes all this negative self-talk, and your brain just ends up saying all these negative thoughts about you. And this bleeds into other areas of your life, regardless of what you're trying to do. If you're trying to talk to a girl, trying to get a job, in all these situations, you're going to think the exact same thing. Oh, the girl won't like me anyways. Or they're going to decline my interview anyways. And so, in the long term, you're going to almost lose faith in yourself. And I don't think the positive results justify it, because even though you are getting positive results, the mindset isn't changing. And another way to think about it is, if you are already getting pretty good results with a bad mindset, imagine if you did have a good mindset. Think about how much higher you could achieve. We're not talking about, A+. We're talking about, straight to university or straight to, one of the world-renowned unis, or even greater than that. And so the takeaway from all of this is that I've personally found it very hard for someone to succeed if they lose faith in themselves. Maybe you'll get some short-term successes, but in the long term, it's very hard when your own brain is against you. And so right now, again, I don't want to say I just blindly, say that, oh, I'm gonna destroy this task, I'm gonna ace it, I'm gonna do this or whatever. I'm not saying be arrogant, but if I put in the hard work, I'll literally think to myself, yeah, I got this. Sure, there's things that may pop up, things that I'm sure about, but I've prepared my best. And when I say when I think that these sort of thoughts, it means the thoughts that my brain generates about myself is overwhelmingly positive. And overall, it just leads to a much better experience, because this thing inside your head is not against you. It's actually supporting for you. So that's the biggest takeaway. Don't be the guy that says, I'm going to fail, and then ends up acing their test.